Hello, and welcome to the Finding the Unicorn in You podcast. What a beautiful day to inspire lives. My name is Jaime G, Raygoza, your host, and I am so excited to have you here. Let's get ready to meet some fantastic unicorns and learn how to unleash the inner unicorn in you. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Finding the Unicorn in You. Wow, we are on episode 50. I was looking through all of my podcasts and I was editing everything and I was just like, wow, how did I even get here? I can't believe I've interviewed so many wonderful people. I've met so many fantastic unicorns and honestly, I've seen so much growth. I feel like a completely different person and it's been such an amazing journey. I want to give a special thanks to every single person that has come on my podcast so far. And people that are waiting to get on my podcast. There's only one of me and I can only do so much editing by myself. So thank you so much for your patience. I really do appreciate all of your time, your wisdom, and I do really truly value each and one of you. This is why I did create the Unicorn Wall of Fame. So if you actually go onto my website at raygoza-consulting.com, you will see a new tab that just appears on my website called the Unicorn Wall of Fame. Once you click it, it will have a bunch of picture frames in this beautiful unicorn background and where you can scroll through all of my guests. And if you actually click over their name, it will take you straight to a blog where I basically give you a summation of what they said during their interview and have a set of links where you can click and get in contact with them or find out more about them. This is my thank you for y'all to continue shining your unicorn light and spirit with as many people as possible. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out the Unicorn Wall of Fame and check out the different unicorns on there. And if you are listening and you want to be part of the Unicorn Wall of Fame and join this unicorn clan, then go ahead and send me an email, send me a DM and get in contact with me. And then we can schedule you to appear as a guest. Overall, I am super ecstatic. I can't believe I've recorded 50 episodes, over 800 minutes of shows, and it's just been a fantastic ride. I've learned so much through this journey, and I hope that y'all have learned too. I wanted to recap the process of what led me here and be a little bit vulnerable. I have not been in the best mental state. I have had ups and downs. I try to juggle everything all at once, and unfortunately, like any juggler, when you juggle way too many things, a ball drops. And I've I've tried different things within my personal business, to my schooling, to trying to keep up in social media, creating blogs. It is a lot for one person to handle. And I want to share the lessons that I've learned throughout the process so far. So lesson number one is that you cannot do everything all at once, obviously. You need to focus on one thing and one thing only, at least per day. You can tackle several different projects and you can get everything accomplished, but you have to be okay and you need to marinate in the idea that you're not going to finish everything every day. There's going to be things that are left undone and that is okay. It does not mean that you failed. It does not mean that you're not good enough. And it does not mean that you will not ever get anything done. It is better to do something half-ass and get some progress than never start it. A lot of us stop from even trying because we want to reach perfection. Me included, I've fallen for this trap before. I've recorded this episode like 10 times because I was so afraid of how it was going to turn out. And I'm just, you know what? Just record it and it will come out the way it comes out. That's what editing's for. But you just need to put yourself out there. If you don't try, then you will never see what abilities you have and what capacity your talent can go. You are doing more than people who are not even willing to try because they're just so afraid of it. Put yourself out there and do the thing that you want to do and take it one step at a time. This is one of the things that I focus in my coaching is really teaching people that you need to section off different days and different times of the day to do different things. You need to set yourself reminders. You need to write it down. You need to put it in a calendar. You need to find a system that works for you because not all of our brains are the same. Some of us have a neurotypical brain where you write a list and you never have to be reminded. You just remember. Other people like me who have ADHD, you remember things from 2 weeks ago that you had to do and you're finally doing it now. And the thing that you had to do now, you probably won't do until next week. If you don't write it down and if you don't organize yourself and put yourself in a routine to do things, you need to be able to create strategies to be able to tackle one thing at a time. So I want to give you an example. So let's say that you want to write a book. So the first thing you need to do is start writing the book. You'll be like, oh, I have to write 100 pages for chapter 1. No, just say, today I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to write as much as I can. And once the timer runs out, I can stop. But if I choose to, I may continue for another 5 minutes or however you feel comfortable. So set the timer, start writing. And when the timer stops, then stop. A lot of the times it's just the starting process that is the difficulty. But once you actually start the task, your brain starts going and running the gears and you want to continue going. And this phenomenon is the phenomenon of when things are in motion, they continue in motion. And it takes a while for it to stop. Same thing when it takes a while for it to start. But once you start with the motion, it will continue going and going. So you just have to start very little things. Same thing if you want to lose weight. Like, that's something that I've struggled with all my life. And one of the things that I started telling myself is I'm just going to go on a 5-minute walk with my dog, because my dog's a little chubby too. And we're both little chubby people, or chubby beings. And I just wanted, for her health and for my health, I wanted to do something to get out of my regular routine. So I started walking 5 minutes. However, those 5 minutes was like, you know what? She's doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm just going to walk around the block. And all of a sudden, I started doing 3 laps and then 4 laps. Now I start doing 3 miles a day. So just start somewhere. And once you start going, you start building the habits and you start going. But just give yourself the 5-minute rule and go ahead and put it through. The second thing I've learned is you need to schedule your breaks. If you don't plan it, it's not going to happen. This is something I tell my staff. This is something I tell my clients, is you need to be able to actually schedule your breaks. If not, they're not going to happen. One of the rules that I like to show people is the rule of 3. According to research, every person needs to move out of their desk or their general vicinity at least every 3 hours. So if you've been sitting, stand up, stretch around, walk around, go to the bathroom, go get a snack, go get something to drink, or be mindful of where you are, but remove yourself from the general space every 3 hours. Every 3 days, you have to be able to leave your home if you haven't done so. Especially with COVID, we all got used to just staying in the comfort of our home. However, we need to socialize. We need vitamin D, we need fresh air, we need to see nature. And there's a lot of studies that if you even have bodies of water nearby, 20 minutes of just being near the ocean or a large body of water will actually improve your mood significantly. So if you have that opportunity, go drive to the beach, go drive to a river, go drive to a lake, go drive to a swimming pool, and just like absorb the water and the people around there and nature, the air, get some sunlight, but just expose yourself to different things, but leave your home at least every 3 days. From there, every 3 weeks, it's recommended that you leave your city. You need to change your routine. You need to give your brain a fresh start. If not, you will start getting into that monotonous cycle of not doing anything. So you stop having passion because there's nothing for you to look forward to. So give yourself a date night. Give yourself an activity that you've been really wanting to do and schedule it out 3 weeks from now where you can actually leave your city and go do it. Like, for example, for me, I'm a huge Pokemon nerd. So there's this museum in LA that I put 3 weeks from now that I'm going to visit and just walk around the museum. I'm in Orange County, and that is me leaving out of the city, actually out of the county, to be able to do something that I love that's going to refresh me. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's a free museum, and I get to walk around and meet new people and just talk, or just be by myself and just enjoy the things that I like to do. So just plan something that you're going to enjoy every 3 weeks. Every 3 months, it's recommended that you leave the county so that it gives you a more fresh restart. Do something new that you have never done before outside of the county. Try a new restaurant, go see a museum, go to a new movie theater. Pretend you're a tourist and just look up for touristy things to do in different counties, and then just go do it. Haven't gone to Temecula and Inland Empire, go wine tasting. If you haven't gone and seen the big libraries in LA, then go to LA. If you haven't gone to Sugar Twist in Bakersfield, then go to Bakersfield, by the way. That is one of the, no ad intended, one of the best bakeries that you could ever go. And it was just because I wanted to try something new. So definitely Sugar Twists in Bakersfield, very good bakery. Anyways, I digress. So far we have every 3 hours, every 3 days, every 3 weeks, and every 3 months. The last one of the rule of 3 is every 3 years, it's recommended you leave the country. Travel somewhere new that you have never been before. Save up the money, go to Mexico, maybe go to a different state in Mexico, go to Canada. If you don't want to travel too far away and overseas, but if you do have the money and you can save up, then try to go to India, Asia, Africa, Australia. There's so many countries out there that you can go to. And you just have to be able to do the research, save the money, and do the best that you can. But if you want to stay more local within the same side of the continent, then you can just go to Canada. You can drive down to Mexico, go to Tijuana. There's different places that you can go, but that is the rule of 3. And this is the rule to be able to keep you refreshed, keep you re-energized, have you actually plan self-care inside your schedule so you actually do it. I can't tell you how many people, including myself, fall into the trap of going into the cycle of doing the same thing. Work, eat, sleep. Work, eat, sleep, and you don't change your routine. You start feeling burnt out. You start feeling that your life has no purpose. You start feeling like you have no ambition, and you feel less energy, more tired. But if you start doing the rule of 3, you're going to notice that you're going to feel more energized. You're going to feel inspired. You're going to have motivation, and you're going to be able to start doing the things that you like to do again because you have something to look forward to. The last lesson I want to talk about is you need to be able to stay organized. So you have to be able to write down all your thoughts, your feelings, all your tasks, all in one place where you can easily have access to it and be able to refer back to. So one of the things that I recommend is either you keep a virtual journal, a virtual document, notes on your phone, a physical journal, or anything that works for you, whatever system you create for yourself. But you need to write everything down because sometimes we have great, fantastic ideas. And if you don't write it down right then and there, life gets busy, we forget, and that idea just goes to the trash. Same thing if you had something very important to do. How many times have y'all ever gone into the situation where you have something very important to do, a deadline, but you completely forget because you forgot to write it down, and the deadline comes up, somebody reminds you or something reminds you that triggers that like, oh shoot, it's due tomorrow, it's due tonight, it's due in an hour. And now you're rushing and you're frantic and you start creating all these negative emotions inside you. You start feeling low-key like you're a failure, low-key like, why am I like this? But all of this could have been avoided if you just kept a journal and write things down. I always keep everything on my notes on my phone, and then I transfer it into a virtual document when I get home. So I always keep everything written down and up to date. And then from there, I do more organization and I plan everything that I wrote down into my actual calendar so that I can stay organized. But those are my 3 tips for y'all. I highly recommend that you really follow those. Those are things that have helped me, and that's what's been allowing me to continue and to do all the things that I do. I love to be very ambitious. I love to really try to get the most I can out of each single day because there's never going to be another day like today. Live today to the best that you can. Do whatever you want to accomplish today because tomorrow's not guaranteed and you can't go back in time and fix what you did. Do what you can today, right now, and stop procrastinating. Stop asking yourself, why am I not doing this? Just get up and do it. It's easier said than done. I understand. Just take a deep breath, stand up, and start walking towards your destination that you want to achieve. You're the only one that can do the things that you want to do. You're the only one that is in control of your life. No one else can control you. You make your own decision, thus you create your own consequences. And I've said this time and time again, but doing nothing is a choice and it comes with its own set of consequences. Ask yourself, is doing nothing now going to make me happy or unhappy? And which of these sides am I more willing to live with? Just do something, even if it's very small. Whatever your goal may be, do something micro level. Put on your shoes, go for a walk, brush your teeth, whatever it may be, do something small that's going to affect the grand scheme of things, but just get started one baby step at a time. Thank you so much for listening for my podcast today. I really do appreciate all of you who take the time to listen to every single episode. So if you can, leave me a comment and give me a 5-star rating on this podcast so that I can continue spreading my word and my knowledge to as many people as possible so that they can benefit from this. So thank you so much for your time. I look forward to speaking to y'all again next week. If you haven't done so today, see the other episode that launched alongside with this episode this week with Anne Montgomery. She is a fantastic unicorn. I've learned so much from her in what she's had to teach and what she had to say, and you probably will too. If you don't have time to listen to the whole podcast, go to the Unicorn Wall of Fame on my website at Raygoza-Consulting.com, and you can actually do a quick 2-minute read on the episode and just grab the lesson and take it with you today. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate all of you. And until next time, bye.